mission accomplished. Anyway, guys, is everybody comfortable?
Yes.
All right. Are you lady all right?
Yes, sir.
Good woman yourself. So what part of Cork do you come from?
Virginia.
Virginia. All right. I used to work on tugboats in the harbour in Norfolk.
No.
Yeah.
Really?
Newport News and all that. I was based in New York, you know, but we used to go down there with barges. A lot of Navy in there, isn't there?
Oh,
U.S. Navy.
Yes.
In Norfolk is full of it. Yeah. Anyway, guys, I'm going to tell you a few things about the island as we go now. You know, I'll tell you a few things. So, this is Inishmore here, the largest of the 3 Aran Islands. The island here is about 10 miles long, about 2.5 miles wide. There's a population about 900 people here. 800 or 900 people that live here year round, you know what I mean? Yeah. Now guys, there's a nursing home up here on top of the hill. Yeah. The nursing home on top of the hill here. It's one of the best things that ever happened to the island. That's why I like to point it out all the time. It was opened in the year 2000, and before that the elderly had to go to the mainland, and you can imagine that was very sad. But now they can stay on the island. All the residents are local, the staff is local, the visitors is local, so it's great, isn't it? Yeah. And there's also a little clinic in there, guys. And we have a doctor with a few nurses. And if there's any emergency, they'll fly you off by helicopter to the mainland. Yeah, to the island. Yeah. The little airport, it only takes 8 minutes in the air to get across, straight across to Connemara. These are memorials of fishermen who lost their lives. At sea is the lookout tower. It's the highest point on the island. Everybody doing okay?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Is there a butcher on the island?
Is there what?
A butcher.
No, my dad was actually the last butcher on the island. He stopped doing it about 35 years ago. So what happens now is when somebody comes in from the mainland, buys the cattle, you know, pretty regular, buys the cattle, and they get shipped across on the cargo boat. So she did a good job when she was planning this tour now. When she was planning to come to the island, you picked a good day to come to the island. I assume that the ladies did the planning, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, of course. Well, you did a good job. There's 14 little villages on the island, but I know as a tourist you don't see much of a difference. There isn't much of a difference, but back in the old days there might have been a shop in every village almost, you know, a little house shop. Didn't have everything, but it had the essentials. But anyway, I come from the next village up ahead, Oat Quarter, Farnahurka in Irish. I was number 11 of 12 kids. I used to drive a pony and buggy doing the same job when I was just 9 years old, because that's why my mother and father had so many kids, because there's so much work to be done, you know. So, yeah. There was a lot of big families back then, not anymore. So yeah, I used to drive a pony and buggy when I was just 9 years old, and then bringing the visitors around doing this same job. And then when I was 18, I headed off to America. I was a commercial fisherman over there for 24 years. And then I went on the tugboats, Merchant Marine, for 4 years. And I loved that. And then I came home 3 or 4 years ago. 4 or 5 years ago, actually. And now I'm doing this.
Full circle.
Oh, well, that's it, yeah. That's it. Well, this is the village up here. I was born and raised. I like it. It's a lot quieter now. Back then, there was a lot of big families in these houses, and it's just this village is not doing great. You know. Side of the This is the village well in here on the left. Before there was running water in the houses, you had to go to the well to get water. Yeah, and the source of the water on the island is, well, back in the 70s, we're blessed with lots of spring wells, you know. So back in the 70s, early 80s, they picked out the best 2 or 3 spring wells on the island, and they built big storage tanks beside them. Do you know what I mean? They built big storage tanks beside them, and they piped them out to the houses, and that's where we get our running water today. You know what I mean? Our source of electricity, we used to have diesel rod generators since the 70s, but then in the 95, I think it was, they passed the cable in from the mainland underwater, you know what I mean? And that's where we get our electric today. I went to primary school over in this building, but they don't use it for primary school anymore. They use both buildings now for Irish College. Yeah, the Irish College. So
What happens at Irish College?
well, we get students that comes from all over the country this time of year, and they gather up here just to learn the Irish language. They do 2 or 3 week courses. Atlantic Ocean to the left, south side of the island. Atlantic Ocean to the right, north side of the island, and we're heading west. Jimmy and Jigsaw. Jimmy was on the left and Jigsaw on the right. I know those horses. They're friends of mine. That's Dún Aonghasa up on top of the hill. That's the famous fort, Dún Aonghasa. That's whoever wants to walk up there now, that's where we're going to stop first. So we're going to do our long stop first, guys. Is that okay?
Yes.
Ooh.
What do they do inside all these walls?
What's that?
What do they do inside all the walls? They grow stuff or?
People always ask, why is there so many stone walls?
Yeah.
Well, the reason for so many stone walls is years ago the island was covered in stone. So they made an effort to clear up the land, they would have picked the stone walls just for somewhere to put the stone, and they would save whatever soil they could find, and they would add to it with seaweed and sand, and eventually they end up with these little fields. But around this area now, because of Kilmurry Beach here, it's the best land on the island. It's the best land on the island around here. Yeah. And because there's a lot of sandy ground here, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, like I said earlier, they graze beef cattle here. There's a lot of small farmers, and they graze beef. They raise beef cattle, so they rotate the cattle around all the time, eat the grass, graze the grass, and put them somewhere else, let the grass grow, and so on and so forth.
So the stone walls mark the boundaries of these
Well,
farms?
they do now, but that wasn't the initial reason. I just told you the initial reason was just to clear up the land.
Yeah.
So the bigger the fields, the less concentration of stone they had to deal with. So it was easy around here. The smaller the fields then, to divide the land between them, shelter for the cattle, shelter for their crops, and all that, you know what I mean? Anyway guys, this is going to be our first stop up here at Dún Aonghasa. I'm going to start pointing everything out to you. So we'll all meet here again at a certain time. Figure it out in a minute. First of all, we're going to stop here, right where that bus is. The way to Dún Aonghasa is walk up there, past the horse and carriages. First building, white building there, craft shop. Second building on the left, public toilets and welcome centre. Walk through the welcome centre and follow the signs all the way up to the fort. Okay? If you want to buy the wife a nice iron sweater, this is the nice shops right here for that. These are my favourites.